Sonia Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jinendra, Jai Swaminarayan, Sairam, and good evening to you all. Everyone okay? On behalf of GAA London, a very warm welcome to our health and well-being presentation. So we are delighted to have you join us this evening as we explore the important topic of musculoskeletal health and hand dexterity, something that affects each of us as we age. Yet, sorry, I was just reading a message. Yet, it is often overlooked. So, tonight's session brings together expert insights from two knowledgeable presenters, Mr. or Dr. Sailesh Malde, who will guide us through why maintaining bones, joints, and muscle health is so crucial, especially as we grow older, and what practical steps we can take to support our musculoskeletal well-being. And then he's got his company, Miss Esma Lisse from Imperial College in London, will share her research on hand dexterity, how it changes over time, why it matters in daily life, and how we can all contribute on ongoing studies that aim to improve quality of life for older adults. So let's invite Dr. Malde.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Just to clarify, I'm not a doctor.
Oh,
Just
okay.
j-
I do
just
apologize.
Sailesh. Oh, music. Uh, so thank you very much, everybody, for attending. Thank you, Pana. Thank you, Kamlesh Bhai, for making this happen. This call would not have been possible without the help of Imperial College in London. We have two people from Imperial present here. We have Neymar, and that is the team I work with on a regular basis, and also Esma. I'll introduce Esma towards the end of my bit. I have to apologize before we start. I have to leave at 5 to 7. I've got another commitment to go to. Okay, let me start very quickly. So my presentation, this is a series of 4 presentations. This is very much an introduction to bone health. I will cover what is musculoskeletal health, muscles and skeletal. Esma will specifically focus on hand health, and she'll cover that in a lot more detail. The first 3 weeks in August, very important Thursdays, I think it's 7th, 14th, and 21st. We've got Professor Ellison from Imperial College who will go into a lot more detail, and I'll cover her talk at the end of the session on bone health. So that will be a really important one for as many of you as possible to attend. I will start my presentation now. I'll put that on view. Can you all see that from a view perspective?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So a very brief introduction. I'm Sailesh. I'm going to talk through the essentials of bone health today. Uh, my main role, I'm a volunteer for Imperial College and Brent Health Matters, British Heart Foundation, and other things. Uh, I'm going to try and make this interactive, but I do need to finish at about 10 to 7. Does anybody know what muscular health is? Musculoskeletal health is? You're welcome to put notes on the chat. Okay, I'll go through it. It refers to bones. These are the bones. These are all our big bones: the hip, the ribs, the arms, the skull, and the legs. And there's the pelvis. And if you can just about see that, spine. and we had 4 talks earlier this year on the spine. So it comprises of all of those functions. Absolutely essential to keep us upright, to help us move, lift things, sit down, going from a chair to the bed, sleeping, and so forth. But they're also very important for balancing us. So we cannot do without good muscle, bone, spine, and joint structure. If we did not have that structure, we would have difficulties, especially as we age, with walking, sitting, or even sleeping, as well as pain. So that's broadly what musculoskeletal health is: muscles, joints, and bones. So if we look at our bone structure, most of you probably have done this when you did your biology way back at school, but there's the skull, and these function perform supporting major organs. So the skull supports the brain, eyes. The ribs are actually supporting our heart and lungs, pelvis, legs. The areas that are not very well supported by the structure itself are the knees. A lot of people end up with knee pain. Lower back, because there's no structure. Upper back, very few problems, because the rib cage supports us. Neck is a weak point, whiplash injuries. So those are the things we really need to look after. And Professor Ellison will go through some of these, how to take care of them and how to improve them. Okay, so what happens to our bone density? Bone density is essentially the thickness of our bones. How thick are our bones? The thicker the bones, the better they are, the stronger they are. What you see here is roughly from the age of 30, our bone density begins to decline. And at a certain point, that decline is worse for women than men. And most of you probably know what the reason for that is: menopause, loss of estrogen, production from the body, and that results in bone loss. So, what can we do to manage that? So, those who are pre-menopause, good level of exercise, good level of strength training, appropriate nutrients. They could be raw food, which is preferable, or supplements. So that's the area where people begin to build osteopenia, osteoporosis, and so forth. And they will be covered in future lectures. Today it's just a brief overview. So what is osteoporosis? What is osteopenia? What is osteoarthritis? So when we're young, 10, 20 years old, our bones are nice and thick. As we age, they begin to become brittle. So if you think about a sponge, this is a really thick sponge where if you squeezed it, you couldn't squeeze it. It's really like a tennis ball. This is the sponge that we use to wash cars and things. Lots of holes in it. And therefore, our bone structure becomes weak. What this picture is showing you is the hip joint. And it is very common for people with osteoporosis to have damage to their hips. They crack the neck of the hip here, and then hip replacements are done. Osteopenia is the early stages of that. If you're diagnosed with osteopenia, it is really good to control it early. And I'll briefly cover what those things are, but we'll be covering a lot more in August. Osteoarthritis is when things happen to your hands. Cartilage wear, and they begin to lose shape, stiffness, pain. And asthma's program will cover that. So these are the type of things that go wrong. These are the type of things we need to look out for. Some of you may have seen people, elderly people, 60, 70, 80, and you'll begin to see their back is rounded. They in fact get shorter, and this is primarily caused by fractures, breakage of the spine. And sometimes they don't even know that they've got spine breakage. They, they can become swollen, they get painful joints. So these are the type of things to look out for. The way we measure the density of a bone is through a DEXA scan. Very expensive thing to do. So doctors only do that if they suspect there is an issue with bone structure, bone density. But look after your bones from a young age. That's really the key message. And it's never ever too late. So if I just go back a couple, even if you're here, if you begin to do some weight bearing exercises, little it's called strength training, it will begin to help control the decline. I'll roll forward again. Okay, so what can we do to maintain our bone structure? We need to get enough calcium in our diet. That would be through dairy, leafy greens, broccoli, spinach, kale, anything that you enjoy is very important. Lots of calcium in there. Chickpeas have lots of calcium, mushrooms, figs. Vitamin D, get out in the sun as often as you can. If you do buy vitamin D supplements, it is recommended for people of our origins. Always look for D3 and K2 rather than just pure vitamin D. I do recommend not to buy vitamin D that is the cheapest on the shelf, but look at the quality of the product. Is it pure? Get adequate sleep. Sleep is probably one of the most important things that will give you a healthy life. 7 to 8 to 9 hours, no more. Again, that's a topic in its own right. Limit things like smoking, alcohol, and UPFs, ultra processed foods. We've got a very strong diet in Gujarati community. Please use that diet. Reduce fat, reduce sugar, reduce things that are highly processed. So there's the K2, D3, and calcium triangle. Those three are essential minerals and vitamins for your bone health. You can get most of that by food, not all. So sometimes you do need to take supplements. So what's the best medicine? Move. Do some weight bearing exercises, walking, dancing, yoga, swimming, whatever you'd like to do. Even just moving your legs up and down is an exercise in its own right. If you can, do some strength training. Well, what does strength training mean? Yes, you can go to the gym and do some weights, or you can just pick up 2 water bottles and lift them up and down. You start with half a liter, move it up to 1 liter, move it up to 2 liters. That is weights. Just put some strength into your bones. The key is stay active. The more dormant you are, the more you're sitting around, the worse your body structure will get. Not just your muscles, your bones, your spine, your posture. So please keep moving as often as you can. So we talked about posture. We've had quite a few talks on posture, but maintaining a good posture is very important. And that's an example of a good posture. In the previous talks we did in June, you did see good postures, bad postures, and how to protect them. A good posture will hold you upright. It will reduce the risk of falling. And it's important for people who are suffering from bone diseases to have regular checkups and potentially through GP a bone scan. So this is what we've got planned for you on the 7th, 14th, and 21st of August. Today is purely an introduction to the session of bones, what are joints, what are muscles. Professor Ellison will be covering knee health, bone health, balance and core. Within that, she will include uh, lower back pain and back health. In addition to the educational session she'll be doing for us, she's happy to attend in person with a team of her team of people from Imperial College at Kenton Hall with the view of supporting you on the things that you can do to prevent falls, reduce risks. So she's made that offer, and hopefully Kamlesh Bhai will take them up, and we'll set up sessions in September, October for Professor Ellison to come. I'll just check if I've got any more slides. I do. Just a summary slide. So your bones matter. Protect them at every age, from the youngest to the oldest. Eat good quality nutritious food. Move as often as you can, and be mindful of changes that are happening to you. Knee pain, neck pain, back pain, and go and see your GP. I've got a few minutes for questions. If anybody has questions, otherwise I'll hand over to Esma with a brief introduction.
I have a question. My name is Mayuri.
Hi.
Hello. There was a time when I had kidney stones, and the analysis of the stone was calcium oxalate. So I stopped taking calcium for a while. Because it's not water-soluble calcium. So is it really advisable to take calcium supplements?
I think it depends on each and every individual is different. So the best thing to do is have that discussion with your GP. The best source of calcium is from raw food: milk, yogurt, kefir, greens.
Can't hear you.
The best source of calcium is from raw foods and dairy products. Any other questions? Thank you for the question.
What about not non-dairy? Because at the moment, I'm taking some medicines for my bones and all that, some Ayurvedic medicines, so I have to go non-dairy.
Yeah, so that's fine. Then greens, leafy greens.
Leafy greens.
Yes, okay. They have a lot of calcium in them. And incidentally, although I'm leaving early, if you've got questions after the session, if you send them to Pana, she can forward them to me to answer.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Is osteoporosis more prevalent in the South Asian community than it's in the host community, and why?
The reason why it's more prevalent in South Asian community, in fact, to be honest, I don't have the data on it. It's more prevalent with women than men. And the reason why it's more prevalent with women is, it depends on their lifestyle, is after menopause, there is a loss of estrogen in the body. Estrogen is an essential component to keep your bones strong. And the way to prevent that would be through strength training and weight training from the earliest possible age.
Thank you.
If you're interested in whether South Asians are more prone to that, I can do the research and come back with an answer. But for today, the honest message is move and do a little bit of weight-bearing exercises. That could be literally just slow jumps.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Nirmala ji?
Yeah, namaste. Yes, my question is, what if you are intolerant to dairy? And that is my issue at the moment. Because I'm intolerant to dairy, I'm not getting the calcium from dairy products. And what does one do?
Just one does.
What one
You
does.
said vegetable, yeah.
Yes, lots of greens.
Mm-hmm.
have good level of calcium.
Mm-hmm.
Have a discussion with your GP,
Mm-hmm.
and they will probably say, based on your diet, this is what you're taking in. And
Mm.
you can actually calculate how much calcium you're getting if you can look at the proportions of greens you're having. And
Because
based
if
on,
I,
uh, go on, I have to
sorry,
go in 2 minutes.
that's fine. Then thank you, Dhanyavad.
Okay. Okay. If you don't mind, please write in questions. I need to introduce Esma in the next talk, but
Sure.
I'm very, very happy to take questions offline. I'm
Very
also happy to take questions if you'd like another session on this at a future date. And we've got a lot of experts at Imperial College